Hello everyone who loves to learn about IRM medicine. Got a very interesting case today of small fiber neuropathy. These means the small nerves, the fibers of the nerves that are in the skin are dying. They're swelling, getting inflamed and dying. And this gentleman has been suffering that for many, many years, and his treatments are going beautifully. So let me explain to you first small fiber neuropathy, what's really going on. The first things that get hit are the hands and the feet, and they become numb, as if you're wearing gloves or wearing very thick socks so that you can't feel anything. And your skin has pins and needles and tingling and burning and numbness. And it's generally not dangerous, but as you can imagine, if you have numbness in the hands and feet, all sorts of things can happen where you get scratches and burns and you can't feel it and you don't know that it's happening. Now, the numbness on the feet is really a problem if it's on the soles of your feet, because if you can't feel the soles of your feet, you're likely, or you are at a much higher risk of falling, slipping and falling. And then you get all sorts of other problems like breaks and things like that. So small fiber neuropathy can be a big deal. So the conditions that can cause small fiber neuropathy are things like diabetes, alcohol consumption, too much of that, immune system diseases like sarcoidosis, all sorts of infections, thyroid deficiency, vitamin B deficiency, and in particular, viruses. Now, Hep C and HIV. Now, what I want you to understand about the difference between bacterial infections and viral infections is viruses can actually penetrate inside cells and do their damage inside cells. Now, why am I mentioning all of that? Because when they get inside a cell, they can affect the mitochondria of the cell. And the mitochondria of the cells are where the energy for the cell is actually derived. The mitochondria use the electrons from ozone and electrons from oxygen into the electron transport chain. They have all this extra energy that they got from the electrons, and they can make ATP, which is the foundational, most important chemical that fuels every single biochemical reaction in every cell of our body. And if those cells aren't getting enough ATP, like the peripheral nerve fibers that we're talking about, they stop functioning and you stop feeling. Okay, that's why people lose sensation. So mitochondrial medicine and mitochondrial health is incredibly important. And that's why you see this gentleman getting an EBOO treatment, E-B-O-O'-F, which stands for extracorporeal, means the blood is removed from the body, as you can see. And while it's removed from the body, it goes through the machine, it gets ozonated, oxygenated, and filtered. And the filtration is very important in this case because there's going to be lots of debris from dying tissues and dying cells. And it's particularly important because of the other things that cause small fiber neuropathy. And those things include antibiotics. All right, now I don't want to get into this. There's a whole nother podcast about antibiotics, but antibiotics may kill a particular pathogen, a particular bacteria, but they're also going to kill healthy bacteria in your body. And when you're taking antibiotics, your blood fills up with debris from breaking down bacteria that needs to get removed. Your blood is filled with gunk. And the filtration part of the EBOO-F is very important for people who are taking antibiotics. And of course, chemotherapy is another thing that would do this, and also different pharmaceuticals. I can't tell you enough that for every single pharmaceutical medication you're taking, there's a long list of negative side effects that go along with it. And in this case, small fiber neuropathy, sometimes it's the drugs that the person's been taking that are prescribed that are making the disease worse. Now, the other thing that you'll see going on here is that we're putting these pads around this patient's feet. Again, that's a place where the neuropathy is very, very present. And there are special lights in there. There are special LED lights of a particular frequency. And these frequencies are photobiomodulation frequencies of the infrared and near infrared. And what that frequency does is it penetrates right deep into the body, and it stimulates the mitochondria inside cells to do exactly what I said before. They make more ATP, and then the cells can repair themselves because they have the extra energy, and that's the device they're using right now. You can see they're plugging that in, and they're setting the timing for it. Very, very important. This device can also hook up to special catheters that are inserted inside veins. So you can also deliver the special photobiomodulation directly to the blood with the catheters that are inserted inside veins. So, what happens when you don't treat small fiber neuropathy? Well, 26% of the people who have it will develop large fiber neuropathy. And as you can imagine, that's going to affect not just the skin, but many other parts of the body, and it is particularly dangerous and much worse. Now, when you have small fiber neuropathy, it's considered a lifelong disease that requires long-time pain management. And pain management is not fun, let me tell you, because of all the drugs that you have to take. Those drugs, as I mentioned, have a lot of side effects and affect a lot of other things that really degrade your overall life energy, your vitality, and your ability to function at the highest levels. The things that we do here that make it so much better and that can actually heal small fiber neuropathy is the EBU that you saw, the photobiomodulation that you saw. We also have photobiomodulation beds where the entire body gets irradiated with that special red light. Also, of course, vitamins. Vitamin IVs are very, very important. And HBOT, which you've seen, well, you see it in the pictures now, and that's when you're pressurized in that chamber under high pressure, and you're breathing oxygen under pressure, which forces the oxygen into every cell and tissue of our body, even when it's inflamed, and even when the blood supply is reduced and somehow constricted. And a variety of peptides through IVs, things like BP157 and cerebrolysine, there's a whole bunch of them, and we have a different long podcast on really describing in detail what all these treatments do and how they work. The bottom line is, this form of medicine can take a condition that conventional medicine says is lifelong because you can never actually cure it. You come here and have these kind of modalities and these kind of treatments, and we can reverse the condition, heal the tissues, and heal you completely from the disease.